Hello, I'm Steve Scott. Welcome to Nightwatch. It's cops and robbers tonight as we go on patrol with Greater Manchester Police and ride in the Q cars with one of London's rapid response squads. Coming up on the show...
Put that down a minute, mate. I'll talk to you.
Adolescence and alcohol, a troublesome mixture for the law enforcers. Zero tolerance on racial abuse when too much booze loosens the tongue. And gone walkies, a dog snatcher targets an animal rescue centre. First tonight, theft. Sadly, it's a pretty routine crime for the Greater Manchester Police. But now they've got a pretty unusual case to investigate. A dog's been reported stolen from a rescue centre. Tameside officers take up the trail of the missing animal.
About 2 weeks since, we had a couple who came into the animal sanctuary interested in one of the dogs there. However, due to a vetting procedure there, they actually refused them permission to take the dog. A couple of days following this, the dog itself was actually stolen from the centre, and just basically the people, the staff at the centre, believe that the offender could possibly be the chap who came in initially showing interest in the dog. We have a small lead of inquiry regarding the possible location of the man in Glossop. And we're intending going this morning just to check that address out to see whether the dog's there. There's no answer at the door. There's no sound of a dog.
That's why I haven't packed now.
Hey Martin, could you say a word with you, please?
Yeah.
I'm just making some inquiries about a possible dog. It's gone missing from over on the Tameside. I just heard a dog when we came. Now, is it possible to have a look at this dog I've just heard barking now? So come in. We've been to this address. There are two dogs there. One of them looks like it matches the description of the dog we're looking for. However, I'm going to ring the animal sanctuary up again, just to try and get a better description, just to see if we can verify that this is the dog. Not vicious, is it? Go on in. Come on. Stop. No, come on, have a look. Can we have a look at the house, please?
You can put him back.
Hey?
Where can you put that, mate? Where can you put him in here?
What?
Can you put your dog in here?
I'll put him back in bed.
Right, put him in one of the rooms.
Actually getting verification that this is the dog is going to be the difficult question. So it's just a case now. There's no they haven't been able to give me a photograph from the animal centre, so we're just going by basically a description what they can give me. However, due to the fact that it's only 2 weeks since the dog's gone missing, it's not going to have changed much, really. He's denying with his stones. He's saying that his son gave it to him, but it's only been here 3 days, so there's something not quite right.
Jump in, mate. We'll jump in with you. Hey, kid. Come on, stick. Yeah, I'll leave his lead in here. See him.
The chap says they've only had that dog for 3 days and his sons actually gave it to them. Bearing in mind that the dog matches the description, we've arrested both father and son on suspicion of burglary. And we're just about to convey them to Ashton Police Station and have further inquiries.
What?
Two guys, they're going to go into the custody office now, where they'll be booked in by the custody sergeant. With the dog, we're going to put in the kennel for now. I'm going to contact the Tameside Animal Centre for someone to come down and actually identify the dog, just to make sure it is the dog we believe has been stolen from there. The two guys will be interviewed later on today.
The neighbourhood policing is a dedicated team of police officers and police support staff, PCSOs, specials, volunteers in an area, listening to the community, listening to what the problems are in the community, offering the continuity that the public want. They want to see the same faces, they want to be able to build up a relationship with the community police officer. Well, we're giving them that. Tameside has been extremely lucky in relation to PCSO numbers. We've gone from 14 12 months ago to hopefully in April to have 53.
For me, their key role is to assist in overall crime reduction. They have no powers of arrest as such, but they can offer a great deal towards public reassurance, and they can feed back into our intelligence systems local intelligence. Without that local intelligence, officers can't match descriptions with offenders against crimes, and therefore we can't detect them. But for me, their role is, as I say, invaluable for my neighbourhood. I couldn't function well without them.
We've been called to the library in the town centre. There was reports of a male there who's asleep, so we're just going to go and check out, see if he's causing any problems, if we need to move him on or whatever. Okay? You need to go and find yourself somewhere else to go. What time is it? Just let me pop your bag here a minute, just hold on.
I haven't been in that long.
It's all right, 1:30. Spilling your drink, just watch out. Are you going to be all right with your bag?
Yeah, we're coming up there. We're just in the library at the moment. Are you feeling better now?
Wonderful.
Hello.
Right, listen, we're going to leave you now. But I don't want to get called back because you've gone back in.
I'm
all right.
No, yeah, you
I know, but not to sit and have a sleep because you're scaring people. People are wondering what's going on, aren't they?
We're scaring people.
Well, because people think you've passed out, or there's, you know, people think you're poorly. Well, basically, we went in. There was a male asleep. We managed to wake him up, had a bit of a chat with him, and just asked him to move on. There's been a few comments from members of the public, just a bit concerned. He looked like, he might have passed out or something like that. So we've had a word with him, and he's gone on his way.
Police continue their clean-up of the streets after the break when they have to deal with a drunk. And a cocktail too many loosens the tongue of one woman who soon finds herself locked up for racial abuse.
She's been sicking me cab down, and then she's called me a packet of fucking black bastard.
Hello again, you're back with Nightwatch, where we're looking at how police are trying to crack down on drunken behaviour. Alcohol misuse is responsible for millions of crimes every year, including vandalism and violence. Tonight's patrolling officers are on their way to check out a couple of lads who seem a little worse for wear.
Yeah, we've just spotted two of our local offenders just down the road there who are, have obviously had a good bit of a drink tonight. They're looks like they're making their way back to the home address. We're just they're getting a bit noisy in the street, so we'll just go and have a quick word just to make sure they get home without causing any problems.
Just put that down a minute, mate. I'll talk to you.
Sorry, mate.
Hey?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, we okay, much?
Yes. Okay, mate.
Hey, all right, settle down.
What's your name, mate?
Fucking hell, that's a good job. It's got 9 o'clock, isn't it, eh? I know, yeah.
Language, lads.
Oh, well, yeah, we already are on bail conditions and all that.
Right.
Shit, yeah.
All right.
Got to be in at 10 o'clock.
10.
Time's it now?
Oh, you tell me.
5 past, I think.
5 past 10? I don't think so. It's fucking not even got 9 o'clock, is it? Hey. 9:30, we've got half an hour yet. What are you taking? Jesus Christ.
What's your name? Let's start with you. Come with me. You talk to me. Come here. Come here. What's your name?
Nice one, man.
How tall are you? Oh, look away from me. Well,
7934, can I have PNC for the body, please?
how tall are you?
9 foot, I am.
Queen's Road. Right? Don't open that. Listen, don't open it. I'm giving you a warning now. Drink it on the street.
I'm not going to.
You're in trouble. Take that one with you.
Nice one.
You can't have that, obviously.
Oh, yeah, mate.
All right, listen, you've got half an hour to get home.
Hey. Go on.
The line that you're walking, it'll take you a bit longer.
No, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Away you go.
You got back. You take it with you. You go. You go mad.
I don't drink cider that's never seen an apple.
Have a bit of respect. It's 9:30. Kids in bed.
Come on, let's
now,
go.
on your way.
All right, we did seize one of the bottles off them, as it was an open container of drink, and there's an alcohol ban in this area on open containers of alcohol. So we've disposed of that. We'll just have a drive round the block and just make sure they're still going back to their home address in about 5 minutes or so.
Okay, bud. You've just bought it? So you've got a bike, you don't know the lad whose bike it is?
No,
Where are you going to meet him?
Pardon?
Where are you going to meet him?
Statement have already been taken from Fortune after the name of the officers that have done it. Just going to check the system and see what I can find out.
Where's the helmet come from then? There, you think how this looks to me. You've met a bloke, you don't know his name.
Yeah.
You've not given him any money for it. You've got a bike here, you've got a helmet here. How much have you said you're going to give him for it?
Yeah, I'm coming up with the price. He said that I'm supposed to go meeting there, see how much it is, and me go to the bank and get the money.
Do you want to tell me another story?
No,
Do you want
that's
to tell me
the truth. No, that's the truth, I swear on that.
Because it doesn't ring right to me, mate.
No, I swear.
You don't even know how much you're paying for it?
He's saying that he's going to come up with a price later, so I'm going going down there in about half an hour to see if he's there.
While on patrol, my colleague PC Butterworth has just seen two young lads hanging about a cross bike, a motorbike. So we've done a U-turn, we've spoke to the individual who can't explain to us where the bike's come from, who he's purchased the bike off. In fact, he's told us he hasn't purchased the bike. He's a young man down the road has just offered him the bike, has let him walk away with it without payment. He says he's going to go and pay this lad now, 150 to 250 pounds for the bike. It doesn't ring right. Not happy with you, young man? No. Not happy with you at all. I think that's nicked. You're half an hour late then. Is he going to wait all day for you? Or is he going to think you've nicked off with it? Well, think of it from the point of a reasonable person. The story you have just told me.
I know it looks a bit guilty, but that's the truth, I swear on that.
So we're going to go down to the meeting point, see this individual's there, so we can ask him some questions about this motorbike. If his story doesn't ring right, we'll have to make a decision if he's going to come in for suspicion of theft of motorbike. But we'll make some further inquiries at the moment before we get to that stage. So I've cautioned him and asked him some more questions about it. It just don't ring right, mate. No. Some bloke's pushing a bike around Rose Hill and he walks off with it without payment. How much money have you got on you?
I'm skint on me.
Right. You're under arrest, mate. Suspicion of theft of motorbike. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You do not mention in question something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. All right? We're going to get the bike lifted and we can question you about it at the police station. All right? Got no money on him. The lad had told us that he was going to go meet this other lad within half an hour to go and pay him in full for the bike. And I never thought to ask him, has he got any money on him? It's just dawned on me over there, and I've asked him, and he's got no money on him. It doesn't ring right. We'll take him in and we'll question him further about the bike. We'll go down to Rose Hill Road now. On your toes, we're going to put you in that other car. Yeah. We're going to see if we can find this lad. All right? If your story's right, you're still handcuffed, you're still under arrest. Listen to me, if your story's right, we'll de-arrest you.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So, on your toes. Yeah. Watch your head as you get out. Yeah. Corner of Rose Hill Road and Palace Road.
Yeah, corner of Rose Hill and Palace Road.
Fitz, can I leave him with you? White pants. Butter. We'll go to the meeting point now to see if this lad's there, and we'll check his story out. Yeah, we're in the area for the where this lad's told us he's going to meet this lad to pay him for the cross bike. He's got distinctive white pants on, and he's the same size and build as my colleague here. So we'll just do a quick area search, and if he's here, we'll talk to him, and if his story matches up, we'll de-arrest the other lad. So, eyes out for a man in white pants in winter. This lad's clearly not in this area with the white pants, so we'll go back up now, and this lad will have to go into custody, and we'll speak to him and we'll seize the bike off him. So suspicion that it's stolen, we'll ask him some questions and we'll make some inquiries regarding the bike. We've just finished interviewing this young lad. Prior to interviewing him, we went to see his mother and father, and quite clearly he's from a very, very nice family, nice house. And his mother's informed us that he's been had possession of this bike for some days, and she's been storing it in the garage. He's paid £100 for the bike off a friend of his. She's kicked the bike out of the garage because it stank of petrol. The transaction for the bike took place a couple of days ago and not earlier this evening. Obviously, we went on a wild goose chase looking for this gentleman in white pants with the same similar build to my colleague PC Butterworth. He never existed. He's admitted that gentleman never existed, and he's subsequently been charged with a fixed penalty notice of £80 for wasting police time. We then took him home and spoke to him in front of his parents, which I think is probably more punishment than the £80 which the police have given him.
There's 6 of them have just tried to get into my cab, right, and I'm not licensed to take 6. I'm not insured to take 6. I've kicked them out, right? She's been sick in my cab there, and then she's called me a packet of fucking black bastard. Them 6 were walking down there in the red dress, the big black top on down there.
Who was the one that spoke to you?
Oh, 6. Yeah, the one in the black top on.
That's not right. What's going on? There's 2 sides of the story now. They're saying that he's called them white so-and-sos and they've called them black so-and-so.
I've not even got my hat on here now.
He just turned around and said, right,
he started with us. We got in a taxi and he went, I'm not taking you. Why? I'll tell her. What's your name? Tanya, you have a license? No, cousin. Give me a lift on it.
Any race crime in Tameside is immediately brought to the attention of the inspector on duty at that time. And it's that inspector's responsibility to ensure that somebody is sent to that particular incident as quickly as possible. Part of Tameside's response to hate crime is also to demonstrate to the community how we feel about that and how important it is.
We've got all your details and we'll do it again when you're sober and you've not had a drink.
A taxi driver has reported an incident where he's been racially abused by a group of girls that have got into his taxi. They've then made off down the road and we've stopped them. Given their descriptions, we've stopped them, got the details, and one of them's now been arrested for a racially aggravated public order offence. So they're going to Ashton.
Of all them got? Yeah.
No, I thought it was 6 months.
Yeah, that's an adult.
He's just speaking to him, yeah.
Male, that, by the way.
Yeah.
5980.
5980,
So it's right, there was another vehicle outside the Nick Ashton place, Manchester Road. He was on walk factor 12. You alright? From the police. Show you some ID? No, I have.
Alright.
How fast were you doing?
Well, I looked at my clock, it was just under 50.
Thanks. Right, and what's the speed limit?
40.
30.
It's my mum and dad's car, I'm going to pick them up.
You insured?
Well, I thought I was.
Are you insured?
I think I am, yeah.
Well, you either are or you aren't.
As far as I know.
What's your name, please? Just bump it onto the curb, mate, so you're not quite blocking everyone.
One back in the car park?
Park it in there? Yeah. Basically, this car's come past the lights doing about 60 mile an hour. It's just going to park up there, mate. Doing about 60 mile an hour. We're going to have a chat with him. It seems he might not have any insurance, so we're going to just get some more details off him. The problem is, I've checked all the records on here, yeah? And it's basically an insurance database.
Yeah.
As you heard, it's got your dad's name on it. Your name wasn't on there. We have a problem, don't we?
I do apologise, because I honestly thought it was still 40 there, because it's got 40 signs.
But either way, you said to me, you looked at the clock, you do 50.
45, just under
45,
50.
We heard you, and it was a proper vroom, and it ain't, it's not a top of the range car, that is it? Right, the problem we have is, if we come across any cars which are being driven by uninsured drivers, we have to, what we call seize them, and what we do is we take the car off them until you go down to the garage and say, this is my name, I'm insured to drive, blah blah.
Can you speak to my mum?
Of course we can get your mum to see you. I'm quite happy to do that.
Yeah, speak to the officer now. Speak to the officer.
Sure, 165. Hello? Right, basically, he hasn't got any insurance to drive the car. Yeah? We've stopped him, he hasn't got any insurance. We can't let him drive the car any further. Also, within the police, if we come across any uninsured drivers, basically we have a policy where we have the vehicle removed. We've just seen him outside Ashton Police Station, so it's just on the car park now. It'll most likely get recovered, and you can go and collect it tomorrow if you get insurance, or if you don't want to have it back, it'll just get scrapped. It's your choice.
All right, 20.
Yes, mate.
There you go. The traffic officer has spoken to the lad who was driving the car. He's borrowed the car off his dad, and it turns out he wasn't insured to drive it. He was quite a decent member of the public, so instead of having his car seized and towed away to garage and be reported for having no insurance, we've come to a compromise whereby he's still going to be reported for no insurance and go to court, but the keys in the vehicle remain at the police station until somebody who's insured to collect the vehicle comes and picks it up.
There are more alcohol-fuelled problems after the break when police give chase to a suspected drunk driver. Plus, a teenage mum puts her daughter's life at risk when she's caught driving without a licence. Welcome back to Nightwatch. Next, we're joining the Q Cars, a rapid response undercover robbery unit. These cars constantly patrol the Haringey district of London, on the lookout for anything suspicious. And it doesn't take long for one driver to spark some interest. Deborah Michaels takes up the story.
PC Ross Stumpo and PC Andy Otterson are following a Ford Fiesta driver who has caught their attention. He has no lights on and is driving very erratically.
What's he doing? Yeah, go on.
As he's being followed by an unmarked Q car, he has no idea the police are watching his every move. The way he's driving, Ross and Andy think he may be drunk.
See what it's driving's like up here?
I think the car's naked, yeah, that.
Red Ford Fiesta.
Okay.
They put on the blue lights and signal for him to stop. But this driver isn't stopping.
Got a fair stop, A10 northbound, Enfields ground, switch of main set, Yankee 1.
Back in the Q car office, PC Rob Buckley and PC Neil Bate have been asked to respond to a call for backup from one of the other Q car teams.
There was a call from an informant who believed that people were acting suspiciously, either drug dealing or swapping something. And uniformed officers and unmarked officers have attended. They believe they've stopped 2 people who might be in possession of a drug. We're just attending, obviously, to up the numbers and so we can help investigate the matter.
They arrive quickly and immediately help to restrain one of the suspects. With the 2 men in handcuffs, the story emerges about why these men were stopped.
Did you just so we know what's going on, all right? All right?
There was a call to... thought it was a robbery. Cars came down to deal with it. It wasn't a robbery. And as they're leaving, they come across some males going down the street. And when they've gone to speak to them, they're throwing away a blue bag. So we're just looking for the stuff just now.
After a thorough search, they find 15 bags of cannabis and both men are arrested.
You're under arrest, all right, possession with intent to supply. You do not have to say anything but in my own your defence. Do not mention when questioned, something which later rely in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, all right?
This gentleman's seen us, started to run down here as he's doing it, he's ditching loads of bags of cannabis out his pocket. It's also got a quantity of about £500 cash. He's been arrested, possession with intent to supply at the moment. Both were took to the station where they'll be interviewed about why they've got these drugs and why he's got a quantity of cash separate to his wallet, separate to cash in his wallet as well. We'll go from there.
The men were bailed and the bags sent off for analysis. PC Ross Stumpo and PC Andy Otterson are chasing the Ford Fiesta driver. He's refusing to pull over and his driving is becoming more and more erratic. With chases like this, it's vital for Andy to give a clear commentary over the radio to other units, telling them exactly where the driver is going so they can come to assist.
It's northbound A10, junction with 46 of it.
They're on a dual carriageway, and his driving is becoming even more dangerous, jumping traffic lights and swerving in between other cars. But he's just not stopping.
Lane 2 of 2, no vehicle traffic, approaching red ATS, 30 miles an hour.
As the chase continues, the man almost crashes into the central barrier. But suddenly he loses control, crashes into another car, gets out and runs.
Stevie! Chase your suspects, 18! Stevie, no! Suspect tight, suspect tight. Get on the floor. Other units arrive within minutes. Their first concern is for the lady who was driving the other car. She's on the side of the road and they're looking after her until the ambulance arrives. Andy can't hide his frustration at this boy's dangerous behaviour.
Mate, you've just nearly killed someone! Have we got an ambulance running because he had hit another vehicle?
What are you looking at?
The driver seems very concerned about finding his cigarettes.
Wait, can I get my jacket out of the car? It's got a cigarette in it.
No, search him.
He's searched and taken to the van.
Hold on, wait, can I get my jacket out of the car? It's got a cigarette in it.
We've taken him to the ground, using reasonable force and handcuffed him to the rear. Basically just saying stuff like he didn't mean to do it, he didn't mean to crash into the woman. Alcohol can be smelt in his breath quite strongly. Driving under influence of alcohol makes things like this happen quite daily.
Ross searches the car. They think that it might have been stolen.
Just having he's got some documents in there, so we're just going to check if it belongs to the suspect we've got detained, because he's got a different name on there to what he's given us. And we're just going to run that through the system, see if it comes back as wanted or disqualified from driving.
After they get more information, they arrest him.
You're under arrest, suspicion of TDA. I believe that car's been stolen, OK? You're also under arrest, Section 4 drink drive, and you're also under arrest because you're shown wanted for breach of community order, OK? Do not have to say anything, my own defence, do not mention when questioned.
The woman who was driving the other car is taken to hospital. And Andy takes the prisoner back to the police station. Ross waits at the scene of the crash for the police tow truck to arrive to take the car away.
That's going to be taken to a police car pound where it's going to be forensically tested. The suspect has been booked into custody. He's going to be breathalyzed and seen by a police doctor, we'll call him FME. Obviously we're going to make inquiries regarding the Fiesta to confirm if it has been stolen.
But things aren't always what they seem. Although this man had been drinking, he was under the legal limit, but he made another admission.
He's admitted to taking a large amount of cocaine, so he's been seen by the police doctor who's going to assess him and tell if he's unfit through drugs to drive. It's not as common as drink driving, obviously, but it does happen.
Police say they are increasingly concerned about driving under the influence of drugs. Penalties are exactly the same as drink driving and include up to 6 months in prison, a £5,000 fine and loss of licence for up to a year. On further investigation, the car was proved to be stolen. The man has been bailed to return and police are awaiting results of his blood tests. In Tottenham, PC Dave Metcalf and PC Ali Whittaker are the first to arrive at the scene of a robbery. Just minutes ago, this woman was punched and her mobile phone was stolen. Dave and Ali are trying to find out exactly what happened.
Whereabouts it happened?
I come in this place and then I come out to...
In here? Has it happened in here? Okay, what do they look like? Would you recognise them?
Yeah, here she has the black.
Another Q car quickly arrives. A witness tells them she saw the robbers running into a nearby building, so they go to see if they are still there, hiding.
There's a gate open here, Ross, so they can get straight out if they're wanted. Chasing shadows at the minute. Kind of witness thought they'd gone to ground in the back of the flats, but there's no containment. I had a quick walk through, quick look at the stairwells, no one in there, so get the victim in the back of one of the cars, just get straight around the areas, have a drive round.
But before they have a chance to do that, something rather unusual happens. A man walks past and the victim thinks he's one of the robbers.
This lady. Yeah, this one. Yeah, okay. Hello there, come over here. Right. What's your name, mate? Right. He was with them. You saying he's definitely one that's with them?
Yeah, one is he looked like this one and one is the big and the some.
No. Like, answer my question. Is he the one?
He looked like.
He looks like him.
One like this one.
The man is handcuffed, searched and questioned.
Whereabouts have you just come from now?
I just come from my auntie's house.
Right. What's your auntie's address?
Huh?
What's your auntie's address?
I can't remember, but I can show you the house now.
Right. You got any identification on you?
Yeah. Guys, you don't believe me.
It doesn't matter whether we believe you or not. We're going on information that's been said to us, aren't we? And we've got to investigate it.
Yeah.
Else we wouldn't be doing our job. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
no,
what I'm saying. Chill out, okay, and let's investigate it. Okay, and decision will be made from there.
As her stolen mobile isn't found on the suspect, Ali is still talking to the victim, trying to determine if he was definitely involved.
Why is he recognisable to you? What makes you recognise this chap?
He have the same jacket and...
There's a slight language barrier as she's from Romania, but after a long chat, the woman says she's sure that he was one of the robbers.
You're under arrest on suspicion of robbery, so we can investigate this matter. All right? You don't have to say anything, but in my own defence, you're not mentioned when questioned. Something what you later rely on in court, and if you do say it, be given evidence.
The man is taken back to the station for further questioning. The circumstances are certainly unusual. It's not often that a suspect walks straight back to the scene of a crime.
It's rare. I couldn't tell you, I couldn't give you any statistics on it, but once or twice before I've been in the right place at the right time and arrested people at the scene of a crime where the suspect has basically walked back and been identified, whether it's by
a victim of the crime or someone who's been named, and they've walked back to us. It's just intrigue, really. It's got the better of them. They've walked back, and unfortunately for them, they've been arrested.
Is that not incredibly stupid?
Yes.
In this case, the suspect was found not to have been involved and no further action was taken. Back at the Q Car office, Inspector Dave Mann, PC Rob Buckley and PC Dave Haslock are discussing a robbery that happened this afternoon at a care home.
One of the kids that they look after has threatened two of the staff members with a knife and subsequently requested that they hand over a cash box that was at the location. Around £200 believed to have been taken, and the same gentleman who was believed 15, he's failed to appear at court today for another robbery matter, possibly believing he's going to get a custodial sentence he might not return. So we've got officers taking a victim statement at the minute from the victims while the events are still fresh, and we're going to try and trace this person.
After carrying out research on the suspect, they've narrowed down where they think he might have gone. The address is off their borough, but as the crime was committed in Haringey, they consult an A to Z and head off to the address. PC Tim Elliott and PC Rob Spearman will also be going with them.
He's got a history of violence. He stabbed a member of a care home staff before with a fork, and he's got previous history for violence and drug offences.
So presumably he's not going to be at the care home?
We've been to the care home, he's not there. He's breached his curfew again tonight. He should have been in at 11 o'clock tonight, he hasn't been there. So we've breached him on that as well. He knows he's going to be wanted, which is why we're taking extra troops, as we're not expecting him to be compliant.
The Q Car teams were set up to provide an instant response to robberies, although they deal with other crimes as well. As officers begin each new shift, they never quite know what's going to happen.
You could deal with anything between 10 calls a day. You could have 5 calls a day. You could also get obviously calls that are just not robberies at all, but a member of the public might have phoned up and said they've been robbed, and that can be a massive term in that they've left the phone on the bus and they can't find it anymore. And obviously bear in mind, sometimes there's 3, 4 plus cars on a day. We all might deal with that sort of quantity per car, so there is quite a lot at times, but I mean, it depends on the time of year, depends on, sounds ridiculous, but it depends on the weather. If it's raining, these sort of people don't want to be out.
It's almost midnight, and with the majority of robberies taking place at night, most of the Q Car teams work a later shift, often 2 in the afternoon until 2 in the morning, or 4 until 4.
Because you work such long hours with each other, you know, you're working 12 plus hours a day, over 7 days a week, that you begin to become, well, we are all friends, we all work in a team, we're all friends, and you know, so it's like coming to work is good fun. You know, we're working with people who you trust and socialise with, so you look forward to coming to work.
They arrive at the address and they're in luck. The 15-year-old robbery suspect is there.
You're a named suspect for a robbery that occurred on that premises today. Okay, so you've been arrested.
We've gone in there, we've spoken to him, made contact with him straight away. He is very calm, his mum's a bit upset about coming around this time of night. Which is kind of understandable. But at the minute, everything's fine there. He's just been arrested and we're searching for the property outstanding.
The stolen money wasn't found in the search. He's taken back to the station and later charged with the robbery.
Coming up, more from the robbery squad when a series of spot checks on motorists reveals some unexpected finds. Join us after the break. Hello again. The plainclothes officers of the robbery squad pride themselves on knowing who's who when it comes to the undesirables on the streets of Haringey. If they spot a known criminal, they'll always stop for a chat.
Under the Road Traffic Act, Police are allowed to stop any car to check for driving documents, and as the Q cars are constantly on patrol, they're in a good position to keep an eye out for known offenders and vehicles that are wanted in connection with unsolved crimes.
We specified just on the robbery side, but after reading the criminals which go on by other officers on our borough end, just having the opportunity to be able to stop quite a lot of cars, because we only deal with one kind of specific area, we sort of do build up, like, if you like, a database. He's fantastic at remembering indexes. He reveals them all off all the time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You just get to know the cars and get to know the people who's driving them, and you do stop them quite a lot, and you do get to know them.
You're a keen number plate spotter, are you?
No.
Is that that's your forte, is it?
Yeah, some people do trains, I think it's registration plates with me.
And true to form, it's not long before Dave and Andy are pulling over a girl they recognise.
Oh yeah, do you want us to pull it in the next left? Have a quick word with you. Is it her? I think it's number 11. She's a convicted robber. Was going out with another guy who's a robber also. I'm not sure who the blokes were on the corner. I thought there was a few of them in the car, but it's actually some stupid tints in the back windows made it look like more people in there. Just have a quick chat and see where we stand with this. First of all, whose car is it?
My friends.
Your friends. Do you want to come on the perhaps a bit safer? You got a licence? You got insurance?
Yeah, the car's insured.
No, have you got insurance? You haven't got a licence, have you? No.
The car's insured.
Well,
You're not insured, are you?
it's only insured if you've got the licence and the insurance has your name on it, and as you don't have the licence, you ain't going to have the insurance, are you?
They run her name through the system and discover that she's not even old enough to qualify for a driving licence.
You're 16?
You said you were 17.
How are you learning to drive? I shouldn't have asked.
Has he driving lessons?
Have you?
Yeah. I say driving lessons.
You're 16?
Yeah.
How do you...
15,
How are you doing driving lessons then?
And not only is she too young to drive and is putting her life and the lives of other drivers on the road in danger, she has a baby in the car.
Is that your little kid?
Yeah.
So what are you playing at? Honestly? What's going through your head at the minute? She's got a little kid in the front there, which is not good when you haven't got a driving licence and insurance. She hasn't got a clue how to drive. She hasn't passed any kind of test, so the process for them, and I think she's on the phone trying to get someone down now to be able to pick the car up.
Dave gets all the details and begins to process her for these driving offences.
It's a processable offence. We know who she is, we know her address, so in a sense it's not necessary to arrest her at this stage. She'll be processed. If obviously she didn't answer that, then a woman could be issued for arrest at a later date. Yeah? Smile, smile, smile. Yeah?
The girl obviously can't drive the car again, so Andy's left holding the baby while she gets out the pram.
Boo, 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 boo. Hey, your mummy's here.
They then move the car and park it safely where the owner, who does have a licence and insurance, can come and collect it later. And as the girl lives nearby, she walks home. She was later summoned to court for driving offences. Out on patrol, PC Ross Stumpo and PC Steve Brown have spotted a car that makes them suspicious.
As it went past us, it just appeared to have quite a few white young males inside. So we just run it through the system, make sure it's not stolen, and give it a tug. Find out who it is, make sure it is the owner. Yeah, let's have a disco on.
Hey mate, you alright? Police officers, what's your name? Who owns this car?
The driver admits that the car belongs to one of the passengers.
Why are you driving it? I'll do us a favour, mate. After the traffic lights, find somewhere suitable and pull in on the left-hand side.
He's nervous, isn't he? Yeah, real nervous, isn't he?
Let's go around the corner. You got a driving licence, Tom?
Just a provisional.
Provisional. So
Yeah.
why are you driving?
I don't know, my mate was like, yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to be supervised by someone over the age of 21 who's had a licence for 3 years. And you're supposed to have L plates on the car displayed on the front and the back. Okay, so you will be reported for driving not in accordance with your licence and driving without insurance.
Steve speaks to the others in the car and immediately smells cannabis.
You've been smoking cannabis, gents? You have?
Cannabis has been found in the car. Have you got any on you?
Yeah, I've got.
Whereabouts is it?
Bag.
Just tell me where it is. Just here?
No, take down.
Inside? Okay. How much have you got on you?
Just a little £10 worth.
As the driver admits he has some cannabis on him and the smell in the car is strong, each boy is searched.
Stand there. Don't move. If I have to run after you, you'll be in trouble. Come out, fella.
With each boy searched, Steve then inspects the car and is surprised at what he finds.
Glass. Cannabis.
No towing.
Do not move, I'm warning you, chap.
With this huge bag of cannabis in the boot, the situation has got a lot more serious.
PC Brown's just searched the rear of the boot and he's discovered a large amount of cannabis in the boot of the car, so we're just going to handcuff them together for our safety and then call for another unit to assist us in detaining the five.
Yeah, Park Road, N8. Another unit, please, on hurry up.
Support arrives quickly and all 5 boys are arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to supply.
Okay. Do not have something made home offensive. Do not mention when questioned something which later will lie in court. Anything you do so, maybe give them evidence. There's a lot there, lads. Just don't beat around the bush. Do you know what I mean? There's quite a lot there. It ain't your little small bag, is it? Come on in, lads. Let's get you over in the van, eh?
The boys are split up and put into different cars while a more detailed search of the boot is carried out, and Steve Brown finds even more evidence of drug dealing.
You've got your measuring scales. They will then separate it into different freezer bags and sell it on. And there's obviously your large quantity of cannabis.
The boys have all been bailed to return to the station, and the bag was sent off for analysis.
A lot of people still think they think cannabis is legal now, but it isn't. It's just stepped down a class to Class C, gone from Class B. But the sentencing for possession with intent has gone up, so it's still quite steep, and they're still treating cannabis with intent as quite serious.
That's all for now. Do join us again on Nightwatch. Until then, thanks for watching and good night.